Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining me for this wonderful Yule celebration at the Moon, Serpent, and Bone Night Market. And my name is Melissa Paone Somma. I am the creator and proprietor of Light Club Curiosities shop in Sugarloaf, New York, as well as I am the Chakra Witch. So tonight we're going to be talking about Yule and how it pertains to, big surprise, I'm going to be talking about the chakras. But it's very important at this time of the year to really be focused on ourselves and our light within, because it is the darkest time of the year. As you know, Yule is the time of the winter solstice, and the winter solstice literally meaning for the sun to stand still. And at this time of the year, it is the longest night of the year because the sun is the furthest away from us. So because it is so dark, all of our traditions are designed to bring out our inner light. And that's our way of kind of moving in rhythm with the environment as magical beings, as witches, to respond to what's going on in nature and to act accordingly, to let it design who we are, how our energy works. So when it becomes dark, we have to do some really deep soul searching, and it can become difficult at this time of the year because there's not as much light and the shadow really looms. So we face those shadows within ourselves, and by doing that we can hopefully work to release them and then bring forth the lighter half of the year. So even though it is the darkest time of the year, the one thing is that once Yule passes, it gets progressively lighter each time. So being as we're learning to really release these shadows and embrace that light, the best way to do it is to work through all of our energy centers. So when I talk about the chakras, in case you don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, but a quick little review, because sometimes breaking it down never hurts. And with our chakras, they're basically areas on our midline where our energy collects, and each area governs a different part of our energy. So it's kind of like a vortex where our magic meets. So each chakra rules a different area of our bodies, and it's a good thing to take note of at this time of the year, because this is a time when we get caught up so much in the hustle and the bustle and in trying to prepare for the holiday season that we forget about our own light. We forget about what we should be doing at this time the most, and we put ourselves on the back burner when it's really more of a time to release that shadow, to do some soul searching, and to find out what truly makes us shine, so we can bring that forth into the world. So we start with the root chakra, okay? And the root chakra represented by the color red. And the root is basically the part of our being that is all about our physical health, our ability to manifest in this world, our ability to provide for ourselves. So the one thing I would recommend to take note of is, especially at this time, especially at Yule, take some time to reinforce your health and your well-being. Take some time for self-care. One thing is that, as is the tradition right now, we wear a lot of red, okay? But it's a good thing, because what it does is it feeds that chakra. It feeds that ability to manifest. It feeds that vitality and that life force within us, because as within, so without. So another thing that is very helpful to do at this time is to not only wear the color red, but to eat the color red, because as within, so without. And foods that are red and rich, what they do is they tend to contain a lot of antioxidants. They tend to feed our system. They tend to nourish our blood. And they tend to revitalize ourselves. So take care, feed that root chakra during the season, but be mindful of what you're doing. We do it anyway, but how can we extract the magic unless we're truly aware of it? because self-awareness is the key. When you do it with intention, it has that much more power. So then we move it up to the Sacral Chakra. And the Sacral Chakra, or the womb, is represented by the color orange. So the thing about the Sacral Chakra is it is the kind of the hotbed of our emotions. It's also where all of our creativity and our sensuality resides. So with the Sacral Chakra, how can we really treat that well and empower that during Yule? How can that be useful? Well, allow yourself permission to pay attention to your feelings, to allow them to be your guide. I think a lot of times, because so many emotions come up at this time of the year, that we tend to tamp them down and we tend to kind of like bite our tongue a little bit and stuff like that. But what I would recommend is when you're feeling a certain way, pay attention to why, when it happens, why. Let your feelings be your guide. Because when you experience something, it's not necessarily the emotion itself that's negative. Okay, it's whatever's causing the emotion, you know, negative or positive. Whatever's causing that emotion, what that can do is paying attention to the emotion can point you in the right direction of what we need to be working on. Okay, what we need to be paying attention to, what we need to release. Okay, this is the time to release during the darkness, during the time of introspection. So it's exactly what we should be doing at this time. If you feel a certain way, if you're feeling a sense of loss during the holidays, if you're feeling anything like that, if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling sorrow, allow yourself to feel it. It's okay. Give yourself permission. I think so many times we beat ourselves up for not feeling our best all the time. And to be perfectly honest, there has to be an ebb and a flow. And once you get that and you kind of allow that to be your guide, then you realize that the emotions are strictly there to point us in the right direction, steer us along our way, and get us back on our path to what we came here to do. So, the other thing would be is that when you realize once you have to release something, then it opens your road. Because if a lot of people will ask me about open road spells, but if you don't release something first, if you don't get that block out of the way, how can you truly open the road? And how do you know what to release? Pay attention to the emotion. So, brings it up to the Solar Plexus. So now with the Solar Plexus, okay, basically right over our diaphragm. And the Solar Plexus is the home of our self-esteem, our willpower, our self-confidence, our boundaries, and basically where the source of our personal power resides. So, paying attention to that at this time, respect yourself. Respect your time. Respect your boundaries. Yes, there are certain customs, but adopt a custom where you give yourself the time that you need to get through what you need to do. Respect your time just as much as all the other traditions that we observe at this time of the year. And what I would even recommend is adopt some type of talisman. You know, have something, give yourself a gift of something that you can carry on you. That will remind you that you are a priority to yourself. Give yourself a gift and make your well-being a focus, because until you can give the best of yourself, then you really cannot give to anyone else. Which brings us up to the heart, and they all flow into each other beautifully. So now once you hit with the heart, it's all about, as this time of the year, we want to connect with each other. But what I would say to focus on is something that you probably don't think a lot about. And unfortunately, especially as people who are very intuitive, people who are very empathic, we tend to want to give and want to give and want to give, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. However, you cannot give properly unless you understand how to receive. So for your heart chakra, I would love you to focus on what we call the law of allowing. And if you truly ever want to manifest, and you truly want to give, and you truly want to put your magic out into the world, you must know how to receive as well. Receive from yourself, but also receive from others. You know, allow the compliments, allow the love, allow these things to come in. Because once the universe sees that you know how to receive, then it can rain more blessings upon you. And then from there, once you know how to receive, then it moves up to the throat. And the throat is all about putting out what you want, putting out your desires, and putting out all these things to create, putting out spells, putting out magic. So whenever you speak, especially during this time, and from now on, because we're going into a new year, speak well. Speak well of yourself. Speak well of others. Speak of the gifts you are ready to receive. Speak of everything you want to come into your life. Speak your magic. Cast your spells. Create a chant to reinforce your manifestation. And say it often. I gratefully receive what comes to me. As I will it, so mote it be. Say it often. Okay? And then you can see it start to come in. And when you see it start to come in, you have moved up to the third eye. And the third eye is all about, as we're going into this, finally moving from the darkness, getting into the light, focusing on where we are headed, moving forward decisively, energetically blueprinting, visualizing what you want to see, making vision boards, finding pictures, saving them. Pinterest is a wonderful thing. And always try to look towards what you want to go towards. Okay. Focus on that. Bring everything into a clarity so you can see where you will be. And where will you be? In a state of crown, unity, of appreciation, appreciating all that you are, all that you have been, and all that you will become. You will honor your divinity, you will honor your magic, and you will see it everywhere. So spend time in nature, spend time with the sun, soak in that sun even though it is the farthest away from us right now. Appreciate it anyway, bring it in. And of course, spend time with the moon. And what you'll be doing is you'll be connecting with the power of nature. You will be connecting with source energy. You will feel it all around you because you can only feel it when it also resides within. Which is all about what Yule truly is, recognizing that light within, shining forth into the world, being magical, wonderful beings. And that is actually the greatest gift that you could possibly give or receive, is the gift of yourself. So, I hope that you will make much magic going into this new year. Much magic for yourself, because that will bring the magic forth for everyone else as well. So be well. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of others. Be amazing, and as always, blessed be.